So that is who is going to be on the depth chart that we know about, that has been here, has gone through school for at least a semester up to this point. But there is one guy, at least at this point, that is coming in, and he will be new. That's Tobias Merriweather. He is the only freshman signee so far in the 22 class. And there are some questions, that I've starred over in the chat, Brian, that we can get to later about potential for future guys. But right now, what we do know is Tobias Merriweather is going to be on campus in the fall. Now, I will say that I really wish that he was on campus in the spring, especially with the numbers at wide receiver. And somebody in, and I can't remember who it was, in the chat, put it all in caps, and it felt like I was being yelled at. But he was saying,
that was Robert Robinson, right?
Yeah, it was.
That's my guy. Yep.
Yeah, you're saying, he needs to get on the field and blah blah blah. I'm not in any way debating that, but as a regular enrollee, it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
No, it'll be more difficult, but it'll be more difficult.
Okay,
but there's no excuse not to get him ready.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I would be more on board though if he was an early enrollee and be like, yeah, let's go. He's part of what's happening. Let's roll. I just think it might take a little bit longer, but yes, it's absolutely Chancey Stuckey's job to get a true freshman rolling and get him ready to go and ready to play. No question about it.
Right. And he's a guy, to me, he is too good not to play. He is too good not to be a part of what they're doing. I don't want to spend a ton of time on Tobias just yet because he's not, like, right now I want to kind of focus on the spring first.
Yeah, exactly.
But Tobias is the guy that's got to play.
Yeah.
Barring injury, he's got to play. He's too good not to play. And the thing about Tobias is if you watch his high school film, Tobias already knows some of the stuff that the Notre Dame receivers never learned by the time they were seniors. I mean,
I just hope he doesn't
stacking.
forget it.
It's not going to be a problem now because the guy that would have made him forget it is gone. But like, I'm watching him stack. I mean, I remember I tweeted at one point in time during the season where I was like, man, I wish the Notre Dame receivers, like current receivers, knew how to do this. And, that is something that to me was like, man, like, this kid's going to come in ready to play. He's got the weight room must be a big part for him. Like, that's physically strong, but that determines your volume, not your ability to play. And to me,
makes sense.
There can't be excuses about, well, he's this, he's that, he's young. Bull. That kid's too good not to play. And here's the thing. If you want to start recruiting top receivers, you can't recruit a top 100 guy. SI All-American has him as a top 50 guy. You can't recruit those kind of guys and then not play him as freshmen.
Right.
Good luck convincing Carnell Tate he's going to come in as a freshman.
Right.
So you got to get him ready to play. But that's a down the road priority for Chancey Stuckey, and that's kind of partly why yes, I would rather him be on campus now.
Sure.
But there's some advantages to that because now you can spend even more time with Deion Colsey, Jaden Thomas, Lorenzo Styles.
Sure.
Get them really up and running to where now they can kind of lead Tobias when he shows up.
And
but also now you can spend more time with Tobias.
Right. When you're only adding one to the group. I mean, that's not that big of a difference from spring to fall when you're only adding one guy, especially one guy that's as advanced as he is already.
Right. Technically, he's got to. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm talking technically because Chancey Stuckey can't do anything about him physically. I mean, that's Matt Bayless.
That's why Matt Bayless makes his money. But you can't, from July to August, the guy's not going to gain 15 pounds of good weight and look like Michael Floyd. Right.
Right.
You're just going to have to teach him technically, okay, you're a skinny guy. You're not real strong. We got to make sure you're really good with your hands and feet to be able to get off because teams are going to want to press you. Right. And here's how you beat that. And then just find those niches for him. And he can play boundary, he can play field, he can do anything. I mean, he's a really versatile player.
Well, in the limited film that I've watched of Baylor, they didn't have any big, huge, imposing physical wide.
Yeah, like Tyquan Thornton was like 6'3", 195.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like Michael Floyd was like 6'3", 220.
Right, exactly. So
he looked more like Kevin Austin. I mean, that's what Tyquan Thornton looked like. He looked like a skinnier Kevin Austin.
There you go.
And that was their big guy. Right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Chancey Stuckey's at least used to working with guys that technique is going to be the important thing because you're not going to be able to out-muscle everybody out there, right? So that leads
and he didn't have any 4-2 guys.
Right.
Things like that. And the nice thing is he was around some big, tall, skinny receivers at Clemson for a couple of years.
True.
T. Higgins and Justin Ross and a lot of those guys. So least he was around it. I don't know how much he was on the field on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
I don't know the answer to that, but I think that'll help. And then look, they got to get more bodies. And I still believe if it was up to me, I would go to Xavier Watts. If I'm Tommy Rees, if I'm Tommy Rees and Chancey Stuckey, I'm going to Coach Freeman's office. I'm saying, hey, listen, I know Xavier Watts is going to be real hesitant to come play offense, but we got to play that kid. And here's the thing. The only way you're going to convince Xavier Watts to go back to offense, which I would do, this is my opinion, which is what I would do, right? I'm not giving you intel that I know he's really going to switch, but I'm going to act like I don't know if he's going to switch or not. I know that he's been given the option that it's going to be up to him. That's all I know. It's up to you. And he's been told by the defensive coaches, we want you. We think you can be a stud here. He's been told by the offensive coaches, we want you. We think you can help us. If they want to get him to offense, it's real simple. Xavier, you're going to play.
Yeah.
You're going to get the ball. And it's got to be a guarantee, because if you're him, I don't trust you, because you told me I was going to get a chance last year and I didn't get a chance. You told me I was going to get a chance as a freshman and I didn't get a chance. And so I don't really trust the offensive coaches. And yeah, I mean, Kelly and Dell are gone, but the leader of the offense is still the same guy. So if Tommy Rees wants to convince Xavier Watts to come over there, and they need to, because he can do things that none of the other receivers can do outside of maybe Braden Lindsey. But the difference is Xavier's a lot stronger than Braden Lindsey.
Yep.
Lorenzo Styles can do some of those things, but he's more of a vertical guy to me. Xavier Watts is the kind of guy that you can just throw a screen to, a slant to, and he's going to start making people miss. And
he doesn't
Braden
go down.
Lindsey does it with speed.
Yeah, he doesn't go down when he gets thrown on.
Xavier's fast, but Xavier's also like, he's got some strength. He's got some make you miss to him.
Absolutely.
And they don't have that on the roster. You've got to guarantee him playing time, and I'm fine doing that. If that's what it takes to get him back to offense, and then you've got to follow through and play him, because Xavier Watts could help you.
Yes,
and then, JoJo Johnson's a guy that I would look into moving to. But the problem there is he's also coming off of a knee injury. Correct. So I don't know how much that helps you. But you put Xavier Watts in the mix. And again, it's a small number of receivers. You're going to get a lot of individual time with Xavier to get him back on track as a receiver. It's another one of the benefits of being low on numbers. So I would rather have them than any grad transfer, any undergrad transfer, any high school kid that's currently a legitimate target. I would take Xavier Watts over any of those guys at this point in time, because he's older, he's a more dynamic athlete, and I've always felt that he could be a really, really good football player. That's just kind of where I'm at. I think he can be a really good wide receiver. And then he eliminates, because he's technically going to be a redshirt sophomore. I mean, a redshirt. Let me think here. No, he'll be a
sophomore.
He'll be a redshirt sophomore next year, and still have 3 years of eligibility remaining.
Right.
Because, he got the red shirt in the COVID year. So, I mean, he's still got a lot of time left. He doesn't just help your present, he can help your future. And I start thinking of a future of receiver that has like Lorenzo Styles and Xavier Watts, Tobias Merriweather and Deion Colsey for at least 2 years together each.
Yeah.
With Jaden Thomas and
pretty great.
And then whoever you get in the 2023 class, So